Mableton, Georgia, and a two-time graduate of Georgia State University. The title of the book she's talking about today is called Chosen and Crossed. It is her first novel and her third work of fiction. She is a local author who lives in Mableton, Cobb County, but until last summer lived right here in the city of Decatur. So we are so happy to have you today, a local girl. And everyone, please give a warm welcome for A. Bernette.
Good morning, you beautiful people. Welcome to the Decatur Book Festival. And it's a beautiful Saturday morning. I don't think we could have asked for better weather. This is perfect, perfect. Again, my name is Bernette. I write under the name A. Bernette. And I am in the genres of science fiction, fantasy, paranormal, general fiction. I've got some books coming out in that area soon. And I also have a couple of nonfiction titles. One is a metaphysical title and one is for writers. So people look out for those. So today, I'm going to talk about Chosen. I've got another book here called Cross, which is actually a shorter read. It's a novella. And I've got Chosen here today. So Chosen is my debut sci-fi paranormal dystopian novel. Takes place in the year 2165. And the seeds of greed and corporate corruption, I can't imagine anything like that ever happening. But those two things have transformed our world and our landscape. And now we're facing natural disasters and social upheaval and social unrest. It's a changed world, but you can imagine if what we do now continues and progresses, we may not be far off from this. So, as the first book, this one really deals with kind of introducing us to the characters, to the issues, the underlying things that are happening, and most importantly, the crisis that's looming. And we're introduced to the first beginnings of that at the very end of this book. One of the things I love about this novel, and I'm biased since I'm the author, is that it's very multicultural, and that's intentional. In order to save the world, we have to have everyone. Everyone is needed. So the 7 heroes come from every continent of the world. And so it represents the diversity that we see in our world and the need for that diversity to heal the world. So it's a different take on sci-fi. One of the issues that they deal with as these teens who are genetically engineered, they've been designed with certain characteristics to allow them to do what they're supposed to do, is they have to face their moral obligations to the earth and its people, but at the same time there's a legal system, there's laws, there's order that does not want them to do what they feel compelled to do. So I want to read a section kind of from the middle to get you all tied into what's going on, and this is what the book looks like. And this is a scene where their parents and the leaders from the government agency and the Unified Corporations Agency are meeting to discuss basically that they don't want anything told to the public. They don't want to share this information. Good morning, everyone, Zura said, trying to sound cordial and friendly. She wasn't sure she could set the tone for the meeting given the seriousness of the report. Good morning, Dr. Bello. Good morning, everyone, Gregor responded, speaking to the room. Gregor didn't want to waste time. He knew something was coming, but wasn't expecting it to be this bad. What the hell is going on, Dr. Bello? I wake up this morning to find this waiting for me? Gregor said, pointing to a projection of a page of the report Zura had sent a couple of hours earlier. Yes, Gregor. I do understand the concern, Zura said. She pulled up her projection as well so that her team could see it. As all of you are well aware, the ARC project began more than 20 years ago. We started collecting data before we ever built this place or put the first emissions pump hole into the ground. Things have changed. When we started, we weren't tracking the pump holes because those weren't even in existence then. Hold on. Let's stop right there, Dr. Schwartzman interrupted. I think this may be one of the problems with all of this. You are here doing too much, adding more work onto an already full plate when there are others who can do this. I understand how you might see it that way. Out here, we can't close our eyes to things impacting the oceans. Before this issue, we were looking at ocean health and using that as a way to measure environmental and ecological health in general. So it said to the men and women on the other side of the transmission. Okay, so what does that have to do with this? It sounds like you're just saying that looking at all this isn't even really your job then. The stash jumped in. You may not know this, but once the pumps went in, we were asked to watch for anything else unusual in the high-risk areas around the tectonic plates and fault lines, in addition to changes in the ocean's health. We aren't the only ones looking at that, but everyone else who is looking at it is not looking at the other things we consider. Doesn't anyone else see a problem with the lack of checks and balances here? Why are we paying all these organizations to look at the same thing? You want to talk about waste. There it is. The stash against attacked Zura. Zura tried to ignore him so she could maintain her composure through this meeting. It doesn't matter who notices. It just so happens that we did. Johan spoke up in defense of his wife and the work with him. Right. And with what we began to see, we had to step back and look at the bigger picture. We looked at as much as we could and kept track of it. We didn't see much outside of what we expected to see at first. But after some bigger disturbances and anomalies, we decided to go back and look at our data. These disturbances and anomalies can't be explained away by the normal shielding. That shouldn't have anything to do with our project. We dug those emission holes far away from the fault lines. Dr. Thomas Sportsman from Unicorp responded. And you can't really say that without a doubt. This isn't normal. What hasn't happened in the past? The stash defended the pumping again, causing the muscles in Zura's neck to tense as she shot him a steel look. So as you can imagine, there's some tension going on. You have Unicorps, you have some people from representatives from the World Consensus Government, which is the one world government that exists in 2165, and none of them want this information shared because it risks people either panicking, prices dropping on their stocks. So there's a whole lot of other things going on that they're willing to sacrifice they want their power over the protection and safety of the people.